Good afternoon everyone, thank you for coming. We are Raymond Plat, Anouk van Strien and Rex van Bijsterveld. We are all students from different expertise. Raymond studies climate and management, Anouk architecture and Rex landscape architecture. Today we are here to present our fully renovated country house in Ekeren near Antwerpen in Belgium. Firstly, we will look at the vision of the two interesting people named Michael Braungaart and Ronald Rovers. Next we will discuss the changes of our renovation. Then we show you the technical drawings and finally we will discuss how our renovated house and the new designed garden will make the life in the house autarkic. Our design is based on the vision of two very interesting people named Ronald Rovers and Michael Braungaart. Ronald Rovers wants sustainable building. If we discuss renewable energy solutions without including material impact, it's only shifting burdens and wishful thinking. Ronald Rovers wants climate neutral instead of energy neutral, and that can be done with the use of organic materials. The cycle has to be circular. Also the use of minerals as a renewable source. With this principle there is less harmful labor. Michael Braungaart uses the term cradle to cradle. It is a development with a focus on eco-efficientness, improving the positive footprint in contrast to the more conventional eco-efficient approaches. Reducing the negative footprint industry is supported in a cradle to cradle efforts. An elaborate 5-level certification focused in practice mainly on material health, underexposing other aspects.
The existing country house, located in Ekeren, is harmful to the environment. The house isn't insulated. The cavity wall is only made from bricks. The ground floor is made of an uninsulated channel floor and the windows are single-glassed. Also, the fireplace in the living room and a fuel tank in the basement are harmful to the environment. At the same time, the inside room distribution isn't very optimal. The hall, without toilet, is too big in relationship to the kitchen. There's only a bathroom on the ground floor and the only access to this room is through the kitchen. And on the first floor there's an oversized bedroom. Also, there isn't a good relationship between the garden and the house.
The area which is surrounding the house gives great possibilities because there is space. This space makes it possible to implement solutions which need more space than the usual dwelling offers. This was considered for the design of the garden and the house. But this was not the only starting point. There were also requirements for the project. The house is self-sufficient and no used materials within the project boundaries could leave the terrain. This led to the next principles. Rainwater must be captured beneath the surface to foresee in water usage. A kitchen garden is realized on the terrain to harvest self-made vegetables, fruits and herbs. Besides a horizontal garden, we also wanted to introduce the vertical garden, where also vegetables and fruits can be harvested. This is called vertical farming. To make this picture complete, there is a compost heap in the back of the garden, and this will generate new soil for the plants and flowers. The materials that are used for the house are bricks and tiles. In order to design a self-sufficient house, it is necessary to re-insulate the building for less thermal losses. To accomplish this, the current materials must be disassembled. We wanted to use these materials in the garden to meet the requirements. So bricks can be a part of a nature wall, where the bricks are held in place by the roots of the plants. The tiles will be used on the shed as a roof and facade cladding. This will stimulate the bird population, because the tiles are placed in a way that birds can settle underneath them. The garden is equipped with an elevated sitting area. This is not only great for a good overview on the terrain, but it also gives opportunities to store leftover materials. For our self-sufficient building, we wanted to create architecture that was not common, so a trespassing person would have to stop and take a look. We wanted to accomplish this with a green layer. It's supposed to look like a building which came out of the ground and is still a part of it. Therefore, a green layer goes over the building in the south-north direction. To realize a more suitable situation for the green layer, we decided to flatten the roof. This means we will raise the roof a meter and at the same time drop the ridge a meter. This will also give the benefit of more indoor space.
The pergola at the north side of the building is created to continue the green strip above the driveway. The roof of the building is lifted 1 meter, so the 115 line in the floor plan disappears. Now we don't have to interrupt the roof line by a dormer. When we look at the facades, the side facades are extended in comparison to the head facades. This created a tunnel effect to the garden, which is good for the relationship between the garden and the house. Also, there's more surface for vertical green. To make the relationship even better, the eastern facades totally consist of glass. On the western facade, there's also a big window to the ridge of the roof. The amount of glass reduced the use of artificial lights in the house. The patio is situated on the south. This created a natural greenhouse in our house. The wooden blinds are placed that they block sunlight in the summer. In winter, the sunlight passes through the blinds, so the house warms up. Now we take a look at the new floor plans. In the basement, the fuel tank is removed. Instead, there's space for new installations. At the ground floor, we created a toilet in the hall, and there's a new storage. To breaking the wall down between the living room and the kitchen, we created one big living kitchen. The constructive supporting wall is replaced by I-joint beams. The fireplace is removed and we created a patio to create an inside-out feeling. This patio is extended to the first floor and is fully covered by plants to give the resident an autarkic feeling. The room distribution created 3 spacious rooms and a bathroom on the first floor. This is possible by lifting up the roof 1 meter.
The renewable materials for the building will be hempcrete and shells as insulation. Vegetation and chalk stucco will be used for the facades, and the frames are made of bamboo.
For the question why vapor open, a building vapor open is a way of building that uses natural insulation materials with moisture regulation properties. By a vapor open construction, a so-called breathable indoor climate is obtained with a natural moisture and heat regulation. The disadvantage of damp proof. A disadvantage of this method of building is the fluid accumulation in the household. Because fluid is not drained, an unhealthy indoor climate arises. In addition, it is almost impossible to build totally damp-proof. Holes in foil through pipes, nail holes and sleaziness ensure the construction still absorbs the moisture, with the formation of fungus as a result. The vapor open building is based on another though. By using vapor open insulation materials and no damp-proof foil, you provide sufficient vapor dissipation at times that the air is drier. Popularly, it is also called building breathable. The term breathing suggests, however, that there is ventilation during the construction. This is not the case. The actual vapor flow through the construction is a factor 50-100 smaller than required for a minimal amount of ventilation. When building damp open moisture creates inside, it drains by the construction and issued the outer air. Important is the construction that is fully damp open. The vertical garden. To make the home stand out, we will cover the entire southern and northern facade and roof of the house with plants. This vertical garden will ensure that the fruit yield is higher, and we will use every centimeter as optimal as we can. With the facade we work with Floraveld vertical garden planters. This principle allows for a larger volume of growable mass and isolates the house considerably. The roof is made up of different layers, which is completely built from bio-based materials. The thin layer of green roof substrate minimally gravitates the roof, making the existing roof maintainable. To really utilize our home surface to the fullest, we will realize ceiling vegetation. The ceiling is the most underutilized surface in the building. Why not let nature reclaim it as a green field? The ceiling is an adapted site for interior landscapes. It is an under-disturbed zone that can be reclaimed by nature and linked to resilient outdoor ecosystems by means of networked embedded technology. The ceiling vegetation is existing from a 3-inch birch plywood board, a coconut fiber mat, a hypnum cushion, a rock cap moss, water retention beads, polypropylene mesh, and wood construction pins.
Now we will take a look at the technical details of the building. The building must be self-sufficient. But what does this mean? It means that it's independent of someone else, like producing your own energy. Energy suppliers are not needed to foresee you in energy, or producing your own vegetables, eggs, or fruits. In this case, you're not dependent of the local supermarkets. So self-sufficient means that a household can foresee his own needs by himself. The building is not entirely self-sufficient, because this is not possible with the available amount of soil to produce food, water and energy. But we wanted to get close to this given requirement. Therefore, rainwater will be captured and used for everything except for drinking. Drinking water will be supplied by a third party. The water will be heated with two systems. Tap water will be heated with a biomiler. This is an installation that uses the heat of the compost heap. This is heat produced by bacteria. The hot water for heating the house is produced with a heat pump. The heat pump uses the soil as an energy source. The electric energy is not produced within the project boundaries because the vision of Ronald Rovers, he says, solar panels are produced with fossil fuels. And the production of electric energy by the solar panels isn't in line with the carbon emission goals. So, per kilowatt hour the panel produces, is the CO2 output too high? Therefore, no solar panels can be used for the design, and this option for energy is excluded. To deal with this, a natural ventilation system is applied. The house is ventilated through the thermal chimney effect, so the hot, dirty air leaves the building while cool, fresh air enters the building. During the winter period, the fresh air is too cold. Therefore, it's preheated before it enters the building. This will be accomplished with the installed heat pump. By not using a mechanical ventilation system, energy will be saved. Also, it's not necessary to install ventilation pipes. This will save space and money. Vegetables, fruits and herbs are widely farmed on the horizontal and vertical gardens. But this does not make it self-sufficient, because milk, meat, bread, oil, imported herbs, etc. cannot be produced due to the climate or lack of space. But producing food on the terrain itself is a step in the right direction.